Well, hi everyone. I'm sitting in the cockpit of the Real Air Turbine Duke. I thought I'd finally get around to making a video using TrackIR and EZdok together. Now, if you've already been using both products together, you probably won't see anything in this video that you don't already know, because I'm just going to cover the basics of getting them both set up to work together. But if you own one or the other, then maybe this will help you kind of decide if purchasing the other one is worth the expense to you. So if you do own both products, or if you decided to purchase the second one, then this video may help you get started using them together. I'll assume that both of them are installed already correctly on your computer. So you've got EZdok installed, and you've got TrackIR installed as well. So of course the first thing you're going to want to do is come to the TrackIR setup panel and maybe install a couple of the profiles that are available for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, if you go to the Natural Point website, in their forums, you can find a couple different profiles that you can use. Just go to their technical support forum and then software profiles, and then one of the threads there is this profile exchange. And within the first two posts here, you can see there's two XML files that you can download and experiment with. Now, this FS 2004 optimized flight is one that's been around for a while. Seems to work pretty well in Flight Sim 10 as well. The one that I've been using more is actually this next one down. It's called Seth Flight. .xml. It's actually been downloaded more times, so I don't know if that really means anything. It seems to work pretty well for me. So just right click on it, save the target as, and have them downloaded into this particular folder, or move them to this folder after you've downloaded. But when you install the Natural Point software, it creates a folder under your program files folder, Natural Point, TrackIR, and then profiles. And then just copy them into that folder. Then the next time you start up the TrackIR software, they'll show up over here in this drop-down list of all the profiles. So they'll get you started. You'll probably still want to tweak them a little bit to suit your tastes, but it's certainly a good place to start. So what I'm going to do is just kind of run through the various steps that are shown in the documentation for EZdok. Make sure we cover everything to get it set up properly. So we've already installed the TrackIR software. Of course, we've updated it, and you'll see when you install the software that gives you that option to update everything right away. And restart it, make sure all those profiles show up properly. And then the first thing we're going to do after we've successfully restarted the TrackIR software, we'll go back to our folder here where TrackIR has been installed. There's a couple files here that the EZdok wants us to rename for whatever reason. I don't question it, I just do it. So simconnect.manifest and the simconnect.sp2.manifest. Now, I just added EZdok rename as an extension to these two files, just so somewhere down the road, if I come back, I'll remember why I renamed them. Now, I'm only using TrackIR with Flight Simulator, so this works fine, obviously. Now, if you're using it with other games, maybe there's a reason why these need to be their original name. I don't know that. That's kind of beyond the scope of this video. But I'm just doing what it says here in the documentation. So we've renamed that. And then we can go back to the actual TrackIR software. And the one thing it wants us to do is uncheck this true view box. It should be checked by default. Even in these profiles, I believe it was checked by default. So come back and just uncheck the box here at the true view area. And then when we go back into the EZdok setup, you'll see that we kind of override this true view feature with a feature built into EZdok. So we'll make sure we've done that. Then open the TrackIR settings in the EZdok, and then we'll check this Transform XYZ checkbox. So we'll go into Flight Simulator and go to the EZdok Setup Studio here. Now under Options, we'll find TrackIR. Of course, it should be enabled if we're going to use it. And here's that box that it wants us to check. Make sure this is checked. And it even tells you here that the True View mode should be disabled in TrackIR in case you forgot to do that. So with this checked, we'll take care of that last step there. And the other settings within this little control panel here are pretty simple. This reset TrackIR coordinates when it's out of range. This gives you a time in seconds to reset to whatever your camera is that you're looking at in case you're out of range in the TrackIR. You'll see if I tilt my head way back that it popped back into place, and that's all that one did. I just moved my head back so it's out of range, and then after 2 seconds it just reset itself. So that's all that one is. Now the additional smooth here, these two, all I can say is that it's going to be kind of a trial and error kind of thing. Every system is going to be a little different, and how you move your head and look around the cockpit, of course, is going to be different. Now you'll use the TrackIR software, of course, to control some of the movements as well, and this is just kind of an additional way to control some of the movement of your TrackIR. So I just kind of experimented with a few different numbers. I just set it for 100 and 100. They're very arbitrary. It seems to work for me. I'm not even sure why I put them like that, other than the fact that I like nice even numbers, and it seems to look okay. But like I said, your computer is going to run a little differently than mine, so I would recommend just kind of taking each setting and going full in one direction and the other direction, and just see what they do for you, and then find something that works for you. So once it's set up, you know that we'll come back to our list of cameras here, and for every camera that you want activated with the TrackIR feature, of course, you want to make sure that our little TrackIR button is highlighted and selected over here. Of course, we know that it's working because we get this little yellow light up here that says TrackIR is definitely connected to EZdok, and obviously you can see as I move my head, it's working fine. So every camera that I want activated to use with TrackIR, I just make sure that my little green box is checked. And if you don't want it for that particular view, of course, then you just uncheck it. It's very simple. Nothing out of the ordinary as far as that goes. So actually using TrackIR with EZdok, it's actually a pretty nice addition to getting around the cockpit. You can see, you know, that of course, in addition to all the TrackIR features of being able to move your head very easily in the cockpit, but as the aircraft moves, of course, we get the additional motion. So it's a combination of two nice features where we get the movement from from the EZdok, and the motion and the vibration, but also the ability to really pan around the cockpit. And then, of course, with our buttons, our camera set up to the various buttons on our joystick or controllers, we move around the cockpit, and then from that new angle, we get to use the TrackIR feature to really see what's going on from a completely different angle. And for every camera you have, you get an infinite number of new views within that camera. So you can see that I've got all of my old cameras set up, but now I've got some additional functionality with all of these cameras that I used to be able to just see, and it worked fine. You could pan around with your panning, your hat switch. But now that I've got TrackIR set up, boy, I can really, get in and zoom in and really take a look at things. And I haven't really changed my cameras much in terms of, where they all go to. But I just have this new ability to really, get in and see closely what I'm wanting to look at. So that's really about it. There's really not much more to say. As far as the installation went for me, TrackIR really installed flawlessly. I didn't have any real problems. I got those profiles, and I've been able to tweak them a little bit to my liking. But you'll see that it really is a great addition to the EZdok camera setup. It really gives you the ability to see everything pretty much as easy as it could be. I can't imagine anything else that would make it easier to look around the cockpit now. So as far as I'm concerned, there are two products that really do complement each other. TrackIR, I know, is a little bit expensive as compared to most add-ons for Flight Sim, but if you really want to get the maximum benefit from EZdok, and you really want to be able to see everything that there is to see in your cockpit, then I think TrackIR is a great addition to your flight sim setup.